Someone asked me about a time where I was in love at a young age. Being in love while you're at a young age is such a wholesome thing. Fourth grade, I was in love with this girl, and we'll just call her M. And she was probably the coolest girl I'd ever met at the time. And I always wanted her to notice me, so I'd do things like writing her cute love letters and embarrassing myself so that she'd think I was funny. And I remember one night before school, I wrote her a love letter, and I fell asleep next to it in hopes of not forgetting it when I went to school the next day. When I finally got to school, I was able to actually ask her out. She said yes. I was so excited. Right after class ended, we went to recess together, and we spent so much time playing freeze tag on the playground and sitting next to each other at lunch, and even standing by each other's side in the lunch line. I know, right? Just the little things like that. Ultimately, it made me feel like the coolest guy ever. While having a girlfriend, it felt like my head was spinning. I felt on top of the world, and nobody could tell me anything. Waking up and going to school is the best feeling. And knowing that I get dropped off in time just to spend that time with her, it literally felt like these days could never end. Fourth grade felt like how life was supposed to be. Fourth grade literally felt like a movie. And I had no worries in the world. All I really cared about was this girl in school. I didn't worry about what anybody else had to say. I didn't care about my friends. And I didn't worry about the biggest part of relationships. And I especially didn't have to worry about lust. Being in quote unquote love at the time was such a blessing because my mind wasn't adjusted to the world's perspective of what love was. I was so young and innocent at the time that I had no idea what love meant to the world. But back to the real story. So we were dating for some weeks and it felt like magic. We'd play with each other's feet under the desk, make paper airplanes together, and even try to find ways to see each other outside of class. But as time moved forward, a new man entered into the story. I know. Now let's call him Jack. Jack really liked M for some time, and I knew about it. But of course, me being a fourth grader, I didn't actually take it seriously at all. I had no idea what any of this was about. For some time, I saw Jack and M hanging out at recess and talking one-on-one. But I didn't think much about it until she finally came up to me a few days later and said, "We're done." And I'm like 7 or something at the time. So I really didn't know what that meant. But my heart was shattered. I was like, "What do you mean we're done?" I had no idea the weight of the words she said. And as she just walked off, I stood in confusion, wondering what really happened. I mean, she was giggling. I was like, is this how it's supposed to go? Is this how breakups actually work? And for a few moments, I just sat there, but later I ran to her and I asked her what she meant in hopes of her explaining. And as I walked up to her, I saw Jack behind her. And he gave me the most disgusting look ever. And I mean, keep in mind, guys, we're in the fourth grade here. It literally does not get more grimier than this. Like, Jack's all behind M, giving me these dirty looks. Like, this can make or break a child. Seriously. And so I just sat there and I asked her, "Are we still together? I mean, what happened?" And she looks me dead in the face and says, "We're done." And turns her shoulder. And like just struts off. It was sickening. And I was just so confused. So I just sunk into the ground. And as recess continued on, my entire day was ruined. I spent all day trying to figure out why she broke up with me, trying to figure out what I did wrong, and all of a sudden I hated going to school because I never understood why she did what she did. But surprisingly, I wouldn't say surprisingly because it's such a young age and we as kids don't really know much, I got over her in just a couple of days. Just because I knew it was kind of stupid, and I also didn't realize that it was the experience of my first ever heartbreak. And so after telling my friends this, we wanted to get revenge. Yeah, I know. I told my friends what happened and we made plans to annoy her for the rest of the year. When her and Jack would hang out at recess, Me and my friends would walk up to them and make fun of Jack because we knew the same thing would happen to him. We'd throw sand on them and point and laugh as they walked by. I mean, that's like the equivalent of pushing someone down the stairs. It's so funny how we as fourth graders, I wouldn't even say we, but me as a fourth grader, I was brutal. And with all that being said, weeks went on by and they eventually broke up. And I was so happy. I was so happy that she failed. And it was insane because she even tried coming back to me, and she even wrote me a love letter and gave me papers with her kisses on it. But I didn't take it back at all. And this cycle of her dating new guys went on for weeks and weeks. The reason why I wanted to talk about this because it was a pivotal point, not just my life, but for my fourth grade year. I had a girlfriend and she left me for someone else. Now I know what you're saying. Let it go, big bro. Like, come on, big bro. It's been years. Like, you're unk now. Okay, I know. It's crazy. But just, it's weird to think that inherently, we all go through the same things. Whether you're 13, 20, or 33, we all have some of the same experiences. And it's just so funny to me that me as a child was able to experience something so significant and genuine. And now all I can do is laugh because, like the Bible says, there really is nothing new under the sun.